Economy Corner. Too old to handle the curse of 35. Yes, 35. China's competitive job market is getting even more so. Wisdom comes with age? Well, not really in China. Founder and executive director of Signal, Carice Witte, is joining us now on how young you can be and already too old to hire. So Carice, we're not talking about a quiet trend or invisible discrimination, as some are calling it, but rather explicit job listings and recruitment sites stating, no millennials, too old for us.
It's not very unusual in China. I think what's unusual is that we're hearing about it. You may notice that all of the men in the Politburo and on the standing committee have black hair. There's a thing about youth, you know, that they need to remain young as long as possible. So 35 is this age where it's viewed as being past your prime. If you haven't been promoted to a top position by the time you're 35, you're probably not good enough. So if you're let go, others assume that you just don't have what it takes. But it's also part of the overall economic problems that China is suffering. This deep slowdown in the economy is having greater and greater fallout. As the economy was expanding, you know, at double digits, it was easier for people at whatever age to find jobs because there was so much demand. But now we've heard a great deal about how the unemployment of youth between 16 and 23 was so depressing, so bad, at over 20%, that they're not even reporting it. So if young people, 11 million young people are graduating from universities every year now, they can be much less expensive to take over for those old people at 35.
So, and it's just not just less expensive, but also perhaps more motivated, or on the contrary, you know, it is connected to the work culture in China, this notorious 996, working from 9 p.m., 6 days a week. And for youngsters, that might be, you know, an opportunity to be seized. But when you get older, wiser, some would suggest, you have standards, you have needs, you have priorities.
You might have children, and you might be thinking about having children. You're absolutely right. And in China, there's a lot less protection for women with respect to their private lives. And it's extremely competitive. It's quite chauvinist. Even though it was supposed to be a communist regime where everybody is equal, that has changed over the last 40 years. They do say that since Mao passed away, the role of women has deteriorated in China. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, it is very difficult for women on so many levels. If you're not married by the time you're 25, you're also considered to be, you know, old goods.
An old hag, yeah.
Goods.
Well, so in Western society, they give you another decade or so, but you get there at some point, right? That no society is immune from that. And Carice, before we let you go, so if we're trying to connect the dots here, what does it tell us about the recovery of China's economy, or lack thereof?
It's very difficult to say how long this slowdown will continue. Yeah. The Chinese themselves are not very confident. 13,500 wealthy people so far have left China in 2023, up from 10,000 in 2022. $20 billion worth of wealth has exited the country, and it's very difficult to get money out of China. It just shows that the confidence in the economy is not good at all. Recently, the U.S. Visits to China, the conversations that come out of that are saying that investment in China is a no-go. Yeah. There's been too many raids on foreign companies, the changes in the taxes, the overall lack of trust in what policies will be instituted, executed, or reversed. So the economy does not look good, and it's definitely the weakest we have seen in the last 40 years.
And perhaps, as you've mentioned at the opening of our conversation, the novelty here is the fact that we're hearing about those domestic grievances through social media, etc. In past years, we simply were blocked from public opinion in China. Founder and executive director of Signal, Carice Witte, thank you so very much for this. Thank you. All right, putting this